Good morning, El Paso. Breaking overnight, one person is dead after a shooting. Our round-the-clock crew has the latest details in a live report.
We're shocked about it because it doesn't happen here. We trained for it, but you don't think it's coming to Alpine, Texas.
A small town rocked by tragedy. Our complete coverage of the deadly shooting at Alpine High School continues this morning.
This is a major victory for consumers. Consumers have to be able to trust their bank.
Plus, one of the nation's biggest banks is being accused of fraudulent practices affecting hundreds of thousands of Americans for years.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
A small town southeast of El Paso rocked by tragedy. Students in Alpine evacuated following a shooting at the high school.
The school district has canceled classes in all three schools today as students, teachers, and residents are trying to get back to normal.
ABC7 continues your complete coverage this morning in just a bit. But first, we have breaking news out of northeast El Paso. One person is dead after being shot. It happened on the 8600 block of Guadalupe just before 2 a.m. And that's where we find Good Morning El Paso's Denise Olivas live with the latest. Denise.
Good morning, and right behind me, the Crimes Against Persons Unit and the Mobile Command Center for the Police Department are expected to be out here for several hours while they continue their investigation. We do know that El Paso Police now confirming that one woman was shot and killed at the scene, at the home. Her name and age have not yet been released, and we do know that there were also children inside the home, but we don't know the relationship between the children and the woman, if they were her kids, and it's still also unclear how many kids were in there. Sergeant Robert Gomez with the police department does tell us that there were a few children, but again, couldn't give us that number as to how many children. Let's get to our video from our round-the-clock news crew that was just shot a few hours ago. The children, we do know, are now with family, but investigators are also talking with them to try and get more information, trying to figure out what exactly led up to the shooting. And as far as the suspect, police could not give us a description, and police are also trying to figure out if the suspect and the victim knew one another and if there was a relationship between the two or how they knew one another. We're told that there was a search of the neighborhood of this area earlier today, but it doesn't appear that that suspect has been taken into custody. So back out here live again, this area will be closed off. Just Guadalupe, the 8600 block of Guadalupe will be closed off. It's not necessarily affecting traffic on Diana Drive, but as soon as we get any more details or new information, of course, we will pass it along here live and of course online at KVIA.com. For now, we are live in Northeast El Paso. Denise Olivas, ABC7.
All right, Denise, thank you for the latest. And now a very good morning, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. I'm Stephanie Valle.
And I'm Hillary Floren. Good morning, everyone. Let's talk storm track weather right now with Nicole Gomez.
Hi, Nicole.
Good morning. It's nice out there right now. Some locations seeing temperatures in the 60s at the El Paso airport. We're at 71 degrees. Here's what you can expect throughout the morning in El Paso and Las Cruces. Low 70s, but we will warm up this afternoon. Our storm outlook for today, not looking so great for us here in El Paso, Las Cruces as far as those rain chances. Dry air is in place, so our rain chances are mainly towards eastern portions of our viewing zone and along the area mountains. Clouds and radar showing us it's a dry start to the morning, and again with that dry air in place, it will be a nice day today. It's coming up at 6:07 with your weather and traffic on the 7s. We have a look at your ABC7 WeatherNet site temperatures and temperatures throughout the region. That's coming up.
Thanks, Nicole. And now to our complete coverage of that tragedy in a small West Texas town. ABC7 spoke with a student who was inside the school as the chaos unfolded.
Police say a 14-year-old girl opened fire on a classmate and then shot and killed herself inside a school bathroom. It happened around 9 a.m. yesterday morning at Alpine High School.
Alpine is about 220 miles southeast of El Paso, a small town with a population of about 5,900 people. ABC7 reporter Evan Folan and photographer Jerry Nahada traveled to Alpine, and they continue our complete coverage.
A small town's reputation of nothing ever happens here is shattered after a 14-year-old girl opens fire on a fellow student.
Normal day, and then teacher rushed into the classroom and said, lockdown. And then we heard on the announcements that it wasn't a drill.
Tape blocks off portions of Alpine High School after a school shooting turned deadly.
So we went into the back room and we stayed in there for about 30 minutes, and then we heard the shots and then came out.
What students saw was graphic.
Came right back out. And then when we went to the halls, there's a bunch of blood.
Kids were told to leave the school in a single file line.
They were bringing the kids out, I guess, classroom by classroom. So they had them all in line, you know, coming out really quick. Then they brought them to this side of the street, the opposite side of the high school.
Every student was told to put their hands up.
The kids were shaken up, they were crying, they were really upset. The parents were coming, they were picking up the kids.
Officials say the shooter, a 14-year-old first-year student, was new to Alpine, having only lived in the area for about 6 months.
It's really hard to, you know, wrap your mind around a child that young doing something like this.
The shooter fired at another girl, injuring her before turning the gun on herself.
I just was in shock that out of all places it had to happen at a school.
Students, community members, and the sheriff all in disbelief.
We couldn't even say anything. We were shocked about it because it doesn't happen here. We trained for it, but you know, you don't think this coming to Alpine, Texas, and this needs to be a lesson. It'll go to any town.
I'm told the shooter's family is cooperating with the investigation as law enforcement continue to try and find a motive. In Alpine, Evan Folan, ABC 7.
And the victim in the shooting is recovering, and her injuries are not life-threatening.
And school will resume classes on Monday. The Brewster County Sheriff tells ABC 7 a U.S. Homeland Security officer responding to the shooting was also hurt.
And he was shot in the leg when a U.S. Marshal accidentally discharged his weapon.
And now 6:07, time for weather and traffic. Nicole standing by right now.
Hi, Nicole.
Good morning. It's a great start to our morning. We're sitting at 71 degrees at the El Paso airport. As you get the kids ready for school, it will not be cold today. It's actually going to be warmer. Notice around lunchtime we're in the 80s. By the end of the school day, 91 degrees. Our ABC 7 Weather Net site, sponsored by the Mattress Firm, showing temperatures in Santa Teresa at the War Eagles Air Museum at 64, Putnam Elementary School 66, and just outside of the ABC 7 studios, we're at 68 degrees. So west side of town, temperatures are comfortable. Again, at the airport, we're at 71, El Paso 62, Las Cruces a little cooler for you, 64 in TRC, and we're at 63 in Alamogordo. It's dry out there right now. Rain chances not looking so great for us. Dry air is in place. It will be a nice day today. We'll take a look at your football forecast if you have plans to attend any of the high school football games. Plus, I'm tracking some changes to your weekend forecast. Have those details coming up in your full forecast. Mauricio?
Well, Nicole, it looks like a nice forecast, and the roads are looking nice and clear right now. We are seeing a tiny bit of a buildup on Montana heading towards Loop 375. Still that minor delay on Loop 375 heading southeast, and on US 54 heading southbound as well as you start to approach I-10. But nothing too major going on. No major delays or incidents going on if you're in El Paso. Also in Las Cruces, we're tracking a whole lot of green. 67 miles per hour on I-10 west. 66 if you're heading east towards El Paso. 64 your current speed right now on I-25. And I can tell you Highway 70 east of Las Cruces is scheduled to remain open all day, so no issues there. Coming up at 6:17 with your weather and traffic on the 7s, we'll take a look at your west side drive times. Plus, we'll have details on closures coming up today and during your weekend. That's coming up.
All right, thanks so much.
And we have much more to come here on Good Morning El Paso.
Happening today, an honor flag ride in Alamogordo is set to help the family of fallen officer Corvinus.
This is his family and friends prepared to say goodbye 1 week after he was shot and killed.
And later, the Chihuahuas heading to Tacoma today to take on the Rainiers in Game 3 of the playoffs. We'll have last night's highlights coming up.
It is 6:08, and this is ABC 7, where news comes first.
You're watching ABC 7's Good Morning El Paso with Hillary Floren, Stephanie Valle, and live reports from Denise Olivas. When you